Everyone knows a zombie is dead, but yet somehow still alive, still moving and kicking, even though it's dead. In today's episode of The Life of Money, I'm going to talk about the zombie coin that wouldn't die, the coin that should have been dead 250 years ago, but somehow is still alive today. The 1780, this coin right here, well, first off, it's large, maybe bigger than a silver dollar, US silver dollar. The Empress on here, this is Maria Theresa. She became the sovereign of the Habsburg dynasty, or lands, Habsburg lands, in 1740 with the death of her father. And she's been dead since 1780. The Holy Roman Empire that gave this coin legitimacy has been gone since 1806. The Habsburg Empire that minted this, gave it the authority to mint it, died in 1918, and yet it's still minted to this day and always dated 1780. So, what world did this thing get born into? This thing got born into a mess in Europe here. See, now this map is actually from Guthrie's 1806 atlas, and it's titled Germany from the Best Authorities. Now, there was no Germany, okay? In 1806, when this map was created, there was no Germany. There was a loose collection of German speaking people, but no Germany. And so this coin was born into the Holy Roman Empire, into the Habsburgs, into it just a mess, right? Maria Theresa, she ruled Austria, Hungary, Bohemia, Croatia, and in some kind of ways, the entire Holy Roman Empire. She reformed taxation, she modernized education, she did many things, yet the achievement that she is most known for is this coin. The Maria Theresa thaler was first struck in 1741, but by the time she died in 1718, this coin had become a very common trade coin in many parts of the world. So let's break down this thing and see what's on it. First off, we can see it starts out pretty straightforward. M. Teresa de Gracia. So what does that mean? Maria Theresa by the grace of God. And she's wearing a widow's veil. She had been widowed in 1765, so it's pretty straightforward. She's ruling, and God's grace is on her reign. So now it gets all right. This lady's got some credit going on. I'm going to give her credit here. The first thing it starts out with is our imp, which sounds innocent enough. It's Romanorum Imperatrix, right? Or the imperial power over the Roman people. And in this case, she means the Holy Roman Empire. But this is just a fabrication, okay? Because it turns out that the Holy Roman Empire, which was rightfully Maria Theresa's due to the inheritance upon her father's death, but there was no mechanism in place that would allow for a female ruler. So what happens is Maria Theresa is married to Francis, and Francis becomes king of the Holy Roman Empire. However, it's fairly straightforward that really Maria Theresa did. Because in 1865, when her husband dies, then her son, uh, what's his name? Joseph, look at me. Her son Joseph takes over as the king of the Holy Roman Empire, or the emperor, I guess. And they were both in name only because take a look right here on this coin in 1780. She's going, I don't care about your technicalities. I am the imperial power in the Holy Roman Empire. Don't forget it. Okay. She goes on to brag. Okay. Look at me. I am the queen of Hungary and the queen of Bohemia. Okay. So, wow. Right. When you go to the back, what's going to happen is, well, I'll admit I cheated here a little bit. My coin is really well worn, and I wanted to talk some details that just can't be found on my coin. So I cheated a little bit. All right, I cheated just a little bit. So we go around and we see Archduchess of Austria. And so Archduchess of Austria is um, is a title which was sort of invented by the Habsburgs to emphasize the importance of Austria as opposed to the many, many, many other duchies that were part of the Holy Roman Empire. So don't forget, Austria is like super dude. We're like the arch, man. Okay. So we find as we go along, it says Duchess of Burgundy, right? And Burgundy would be modern Netherlands, Belgium, potentially like Luxembourg in this area. It says she's a Countess of Tyrol, and Tyrol is an alpine territory somewhere between Italy and Germany, so very, very important for trade. And then there's an X on the end, and that is simply to tell the merchants that are going to use this coin which standard was this created to. This coin was created after the coinage convention of 1753, so that the traders had a quick way of saying before 1753 is one weight, after 1753 is another. So the X is just to tell them. Then along the third side of the coin, the edge, we come across Maria Theresa's personal motto, justice and clemency. Okay, beautiful. Now, that coat of arms, or perhaps heraldry in the center, is actually five coats of arms put together. We can see it's a build. Hungary in the top left, Burgundy in the bottom left, Bohemia on the top right, and Burgau on the bottom right. Now, Burgau is a new player, wasn't on the lettering for the coin, but Burgau is a relatively small territory in far western part of the Habsburg's lands. But Burgau does in fact contain the city of Günzburg, which will be the city that is going to mint these coins from the beginning. But perhaps most importantly, when we're talking about all of this, is the giant crown at the top. The giant crown at the top represents the Holy Roman Empire. And so there are five different coats of arms here, with Austria prominently in the center there. But it is the Holy Roman Empire that is going to tie them all together. Okay, so that is the authority which she has been told she doesn't have, and she's going to give it to you twice on the same coin. Okay, now all this symbolism, and the fact is, the people that used it, the traders, and we'll talk about those in part two, the traders in Africa and in the Arabian Peninsula, they didn't care about the symbolism. They just cared if it was real.